G'day guys, it's Mitch Lees again from Australasian SXS. We are out here today to talk about our favourite accessory on any side-by-side, but in particular this Polaris Ranger SP530 that we are currently running on our property. We've had it for about a year. Now on any side-by-side that we get, we kind of look at the first things we'd like to do and change on it, or that we'd like to add to it to make it better for the farm work we do here. We run a cattle farm, and probably the first thing we always go for is a set of doors. Now you can get different kind of option doors, you can get the netted ones, you can get these ones which kind of drop forward and down, have a little bend in them. You can get a flat door, this is a metal material. You can get plastic doors, and you can get doors that open this way and doors that open this way. So there's lots of options for all different varieties of side-by-sides, but the reason we really like the door as our first accessory we put on any vehicle we get where it doesn't come standard is because, especially the last 4 or 5 years, we've had a lot of rain where our property is, and our side-by-sides are usually filthy. This one has been cleaned for us today, and we find all that mud when you're driving around the paddock chasing cattle or just doing regular jobs. It flicks up and into the cab, depending on how hard locked you are with the steering. So the doors are essential to keeping your body dry and mud-free, and also keeps the cabin a little cleaner as well. One of the other things we really liked about the doors is that they stop anything from flicking up and into the cab. So if you run over a stick or a log and the end of the log is hanging out and it flies up, it'll bang against the door. We've had that happen numerous times instead of you. The other thing in the same protection realm is we have a lot of blackberry down near where we are. There's a lot of other properties that we go and work on that have lantana. And with the doors, you just kind of don't get grabbed and pulled by some of those vines that want to rip you out of the buggy. So it gives you another layer of protection against that. And then probably the one that we don't really have an issue with, but I know a lot of properties that are flatter than us that are further up north, when you are chasing pigs, you've got that extra safety of being held inside if you've got to turn sharply chasing pigs with the door, and also there's no chance of the pig turning around and somehow getting through into the cab. And I probably too, for a lot of the properties up north that use these things to pull in cattle, especially if you're on a very, very large property and you're only pulling cattle in once a year, and so they're usually a little bit rough, I know that the side door has come in handy to kind of pin cattle so that you can, and protect you from whatever cattle could do to your body sitting inside the cab. Alright, so this particular door from Polaris is actually different to a lot of the doors we've had. First up, this one comes with a little padded armrest, so you can hook your arm up on that padding and it's just a little more comfortable over bumpy terrain, and especially if you're in the thing for a long time. The other thing this door is different to the other doors we've had on the other buggies is it's metal. So most of the buggies we've had have had a plastic door, but this side-by-side has a metal door, and that's just a little added protection. I think it's probably got less chance to have a stick bash through the plastic. It's not going to get through the metal. So this particular door with this Polaris Ranger SP530 is incredibly robust because it's metal. It might add a little bit extra weight, but at the end of the day, it's not going to make a difference to a machine that isn't based around high level performance. So the other reason we like these particular ag doors is that you can open them and they face forward. Now everyone who has a side-by-side knows this is the case with their doors, because most of the ag side-by-sides do it this way. The recreational and race side-by-sides, they'll typically open like a conventional car door, which means you get out from the back. but we like the fact that they open towards the front. So if you need to jump out and grab something real quick and then jump back in, it's a lot easier than going around the door. Same goes for gates. You need to jump out and get a gate. It's a little easier than getting out and going around the door. And even little things like, we don't have our dogs. You can see my dog sits in the back and all our dogs sit in the back, but some people like to have maybe the house dog jump in with them to do some jobs. And we find a door that opens this way is actually easier for even the dogs to get in, let alone the humans. So one thing that surprised us is this clasp and hinge setup has been incredibly robust. We're really rocky and bumpy and pretty nasty terrain where we are, and none of this has rattled, broken, popped off. And to get the door off, it's as simple as undoing this material belt and then lifting the door up and off the hinge, essentially, and then you've got the door off. If you ever needed to get it off, it's maybe the middle of summer and for some reason you don't need the door, it's really easy to get on and off. Okay, now this may not seem like much, but these doors are just slightly bowed towards the outside, so it gives you just a little bit of extra space, and especially in and around your elbow here. This is the SP530, so it is a small cab, so it's nice to have that extra centimetre of space. And the best thing about this particular door is we've found this latch system. We haven't hit it with oil, we've hit it with nothing but a gurney to get some of the dirt out of it over the last year or so, and nothing has failed with the hinge system. So if I just pull it like that, it simply pulls out, and if I whack it back in, it closes up. It's a really clever hinge system, and it's a really robust hinge system. It's something you can grab from the outside and open it up, and when you're hopping in from the inside, it's just a simple push with your thumb. All right, so that's it from me today. The door, like I said, is our favorite accessory. It's the first one we put on. A roof, most side-by-sides come with a roof. A roof is probably on par because no one likes getting wet. But the door in particular, we have absolutely loved. It is just everything that we want, from something from protection through to also comfort as well, and not getting wet and muddy. So if you're looking at what you should bolt onto your side-by-side as your first accessory and you've got the stock model that didn't come with doors, we highly recommend you look at the doors.